Welcome to In My Own Words, presented by AARP Georgia. I'm your host, Deborah Tyler Horton, AARP Georgia State Director. For the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look at the careers and journeys of individuals who are disrupting the aging process and living their best lives. We hope you will find these conversations informative and inspiring. I'm so excited to be able to welcome Garrett Davis back to In Your Own Words. Garrett, how are you?
Always good whenever I'm in your presence. Even though we're not in the same state right now, it's good to see you.
It's been a while since we've been able to travel, and I'm so excited about the opportunity to chat with you today. For our viewers, Garrett is a longtime friend and partner with AARP. Garrett Davis has been using performing arts theater as a platform to bring awareness to minority health and healthcare issues for many years.
Mhm.
So, Garrett, what have you been up to since the last time we chatted?
Well, believe it or not, Deborah, it's been since November 2019 since we were on the road with the play. And, the first month it was like a vacation. The second month was like my wife said, you got to find something to do. You drive me crazy. I'm not used to being home this much. And so we started a film division, Deborah, and we turned all of our theatrical productions into television episodes. And it has been very successful thus far. We praise God for that. We are grateful for the relationship with AARP. We did our first one with the return of Mama's Girls with AARP. We're excited about bringing that to the Atlanta audience virtually in Mother's Day weekend. We're very excited about that. But we're really excited that we're launching in June, Deborah. We're launching G-Davis TV. And so in June, you'll be able to go to Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and download the app G-Davis TV and see all of our theatrical productions. You'll be able to see all of our films and all our documentaries. And so we're really excited about continuing the engagement of reaching, our generation, our people through the performing arts and now through film.
Well, I want to take you back a moment because the last time we met, we were in person, and
Mhm.
you came in from North Carolina and visited us at the Georgia State office. And now that we've been virtual for over a year, I'd like you to talk a little bit about that transition for your team, maybe even for your family. I know yourself, you're a caregiver. And how did COVID-19 affect how you were able to do your work?
Well, Deborah, it was hard for us from a theatrical standpoint because theaters are closed, Broadway is shut down, and we were not able to tour our theatrical productions. We were touring pre-pandemic Mama's Girls, Daddy's Boys, Forget Me Not, and Sisters at Heart simultaneously all across the country, over 50 performances a year. And again, since 2019, we have not been to one city to do our shows. And so it was very hard. And I began, as the leader of this company, I began to feel really bad because now we're talking about not just the ministry side and the engagement side of raising the awareness of these issues that, trying to close the health disparities gap. But, people, I employ a lot of people, and now it's like, they don't have work. And so when we, transitioned to film, we were able to kind of get people back to working again. And it has been a major blessing. But, personally for me, I was able to spend more time with mom. Mom has Alzheimer's. And that was a hard diagnosis for me to accept originally. But the work that I did with you and the work that I was able to do with Steph Monroe with Us Against Alzheimer's, honestly, Deborah, it prepared me for such a time as this. I remember us going all over doing lunch and learns on Prepare to Care, which I call the Bible for caregivers. You go to aarp.org and you download the Prepare to Care booklet. It helps you to have those difficult conversations. It teaches you, how to have a family, to come together to take care of one. Because, my mom, it's my mom and two sisters, mom took care of three. Now, how can three take care of one? And we were able to use the knowledge and the information that we learned from AARP to kind of put a plan together so that we can take care of mom. So, my sister is the primary caregiver, my baby sister, Emily. And then, I get mom when I can. And she's actually here in the office with me today when we're doing this, doing this interview. So I'm very happy to have
Awesome.
that time with her. So, but, the pandemic, what it did for me, Deborah, it taught me how to slow down because I'm always running 1,000 miles a minute. And then, fully vaccinated now, and then, having mom around, I want to be extra careful, with her. So the pandemic really taught me to appreciate life even more, because life is short, life is precious. And I think I appreciate the work that we do here at G-Day Production Films even more because I was determined to find a way to continue to engage our audience to make sure, because we couldn't do the theatrical performances, there was no reason that we had to stop engaging our communities, engaging our audiences, trying to get the messages out, trying to close that health disparities gap to make sure that we're all up to date.
No, was it a difficult transition, Garrett? Because I know your team and I know they are people,
Yeah,
warm people that want to hug everybody.
yeah, yeah.
And so when we go to this virtual space, it's challenging for so many of us where we can't reach out and touch. And I'm just curious how that affected the team, but also you as a leader, how you had to adjust.
It was a big adjustment for me because I'm very hands-on. And from a theatrical side, Deborah, I can do that in my sleep. You and I had a vision for Mama's Girls, and we sat down together and we planned that out. And I can put a stage play together in 90 days. When I went over into film, Deborah, that's an area that I was not versed in, and so I had to kind of learn on the fly. And so now I'm having to rely on people even more. So it was difficult for me because I was in a whole nother arena that I wasn't used to. But me, I'm going to try to make the most and the best out of what I'm doing. And so, the things that we have done, and our film division is less than a year old. And next year we're doing our first movie, our first two movies now. We're doing one on the life of Tony Kane called Through the Fire. She has an amazing story. And then we're doing a musical feature that I can't get into right now because we haven't all the contracts left up. But I'm just thankful that God still allowed me to be able to use the gifts that He's given me to reach other people. But it was a hard transition because I'm just so used to touching people and so used to kind of hands-on and doing things. And this whole virtual, it taught me to kind of tone in my craft. But I was just so determined to make sure that I kept my people working. That was my thrive because people that work for us, Deborah, although they have fun and making people laugh and educating people, at the end of the day, it helps feed, it helps pay bills. And so as a leader, I was determined to to try to do what I could to make sure we kept our people working.
Now, Garrett, I know caregiving is front and center for you and dear to your heart. And as we all had to adjust during the pandemic, can you talk a little bit about the caregiving experience during this, and just what's your thoughts about, for those who had to transition into virtual? I mean, we had people that were over 50 and over 60 and over 70.
Yeah.
That was sure an adjustment. I would love to hear, even like for your experience with your mother as caring for her when times where you had to be isolated. How did that work?
The biggest thing for me, Deborah, was trying to determine I had to make decisions that was best for my mom and not for me. And so even when it came down to when everyone was isolating themselves, mom has Alzheimer's. So that's a different type of isolation. And so in talking to my sister, we were able to have those difficult conversations. We're going to isolate mom with my sister because we could not have mom by herself. And then something happens and then, we can't get to her. And then I wanted to make sure that I was extra careful with how I conducted myself and who I was around because I wanted to be around my mother. And so if, because of work and because we were filming, we made sure everyone was tested. We made sure everyone was isolated with that. But, it was difficult because it was easy for me to do things for me, but I couldn't do it for me. I had to do things for mom. And so that was a big adjustment for me and my sister. Again, my sister being the primary caregiver, because a lot of times I wanted to see mom, but, coming off of a recording or off a film session, I had to make sure I got tested and make sure I came back negative before I could be around, because I did not want to be the conduit to give my mother something that her body may not be able to handle. Now, fast forward now, then it became time to, when is mom going to take the vaccine? How does that vaccine work with the Alzheimer's medication? And so we had to have conversations with all of that. And so mom is fully vaccinated now, but there was nothing quick. There had to be a conversation with everything. And I'm not used to, having to kind of answer the folk and, but I had to kind of talk things through with my sister, talk things through with, my mother's sisters, my aunts, to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to making sure we're doing the right thing for mom. And so that was a big difference as opposed to, running a business. And when you're in charge, you just do things on the fly, you do it on your own, everybody adjusts to you. But when you have someone that you're caring for, I think the key is you make your adjustments so they do not have to adjust.
Garrett, what you talked about is so important as a caregiver, and I hope that your experience is a sharing for those that are listening, because when you're being a caregiver, it no longer is just about you and how you have to adjust your lifestyle for them, and not only for their safety as well as your own. This is Alzheimer's Month. And I know that you served as an ambassador for Alzheimer's, and I'm interested in hearing your thoughts or concerns about those that are caring for loved ones who have Alzheimer's during this isolation, this COVID-19 period.
I think it's another step that caregivers have to take, something else they have to juggle. Before COVID, you're juggling job, you're juggling family, you're juggling your daily activities and taking care of mom or dad. Now with COVID, there's something else for you to juggle. So my concern is, caregivers, especially during this COVID-19, until we get back to some sense of normalcy, please slow down, because it's easy to make a mistake, and your good can be spoken bad of if you put yourself in harm's way. Now you're automatically putting, your loved ones in harm's way. So during this COVID, I want caregivers to slow down even more and be extra cautious, of where you are and who you are around. That's very, very important.
Well, I thank you for sharing that. We're going to take a break, and when we return, Garrett, we want to know what you're up to, what you're going to be doing in Georgia in the coming weeks and months. And so for our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Right now, AARP's work is more important than ever. We hear older Americans loud and clear, and that's why we fight for what they and their families need. Access to health care, affordable prescription drugs, opportunities to save for the future, ending age discrimination, a healthy, financially secure, fulfilling life. That's what AARP fights for, because that's what everyone deserves. Join us in fighting for what's right.
What would you call a joy that knows no bounds? That is as solemn as it is sweet, with an outpouring of soul that connects us. Joy in resilience, joy in creativity, joy in happiness, joy in strength. What would you call a joy that knows no bounds? A joy supreme. AARP celebrates Black joy. Visit us at aarp.org/Black community.
Welcome back. I'm chatting with Garrett Davis. Garrett has been using performing arts theater as a platform to bring awareness to minority health and healthcare issues for many years. He's also a caregiver for his mother. He is a longtime ambassador for Alzheimer's, and this is Alzheimer's Month. Garrett, welcome back.
Thank you. Always, again, pleasure to be in your presence.
So I want to talk about the fact that it's Alzheimer's Month. I'm interested in knowing what's exciting on the horizon that those of us here in Georgia can look forward to.
Well, definitely with Alzheimer's Month, we're doing our part to make sure that we continue to raise the awareness, because African Americans are twice as likely to attract Alzheimer's disease. So we're continuing to do our virtual programs, and you can go to fmnproject.org to stay tuned with all of that. That's www.fmnproject.org. But also, the Forget Me Not Project, our nonprofit, hosts Mama's Girls. And Deborah, believe it or not, May 4th, Mama's Girls will be celebrating 10 years of touring the country. Can you believe that?
Wow.
10 years ago, you and I sat down and came up with this idea about putting this play together called Mama's Girls, about 5 sisters from 5 different cities trying to figure out how to take care of their aging mother. And now we're coming up with our own TV special. So we're recording our own TV special for the Mama's Girls 10-year reunion. We've got people from ARP, to talk about their experience and how Mama's Girls and the impact they had in their state and their city. We've got celebrity guest performances by individuals. So it's going to be live on G-Davis-TV in June. But to believe that we had a relationship or have a relationship with ARP that has lasted 10 years with one project, that is truly amazing. I want to just take this time and thank you and Edna Kane Williams, for believing in that particular project.
So some phenomenal work. I want to talk about Forget Me Not. That's coming up right here in Georgia. And can you tell our listeners what to look forward to?
Now we're going to present Forget Me Not for the viewers in Georgia in 2 episodes, and that's coming up in April. Okay, we're going to present it in 2 episodes, but you'll also, it'll be up the entire month. But we also got individuals from the Georgia area. We've got some caregivers in Georgia that we interview, and we're going to have those interviews within those segments of the episodes. And so you get to see people in the state of Georgia who are taking care of their loved ones, who have a fascinating story, and we can't wait for you to see that. So, Forgive Me Not is going to be shown once again in 2 episodes in 2 parts in April, and we're excited to make that localized just for Georgia.
Oh, we're so excited about that. I can't wait. I want to make sure our listeners stay tuned to find out when that's going to happen. You can always find out what's going on in Georgia with the Georgia State Office by visiting www.aarp.org/GA. Garrett, before we go, I do know that you have some other projects that's going to be aired here in Georgia that pertain to men's health.
That's
Can
right.
you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. And before I talk about that, so April, the month of April, we're doing Forget Me Not. The month of May, we're doing The Return of Mama's Girls. And right there in Georgia, 2-time Grammy winner Ann Nesby plays the mother in Mama's Girls, and you'll be able to see her in that 2-part series as well. G-Davis Production Films, we're sending out some boxes to some lucky caregivers who are taking care of their families. A nice surprise going to be in those boxes. You're going to look forward to the mail. And in June, as Deborah just mentioned, we're going to focus on men's health. And in June is prostate cancer. We're going to have Tom Farrington, who's going to be in one of the episodes. We're going to show you some brand new, never seen before episodes of Daddy's Boys. And we brought Daddy's Boys to Atlanta, a couple of years ago to a sold-out house. And, we're transitioning that particular project to film. And so we're excited that George's going to be the first to see these 2 new episodes of Daddy's Boys. And Deborah, believe it or not, Daddy's Boys, episode 6, we have well over 100,000 views already.
Wow.
And so we're just excited about the work that we're doing and the partnership that we have with AARP.
It's just such a unique and engaging way to engage our communities to talk about the issues that are so important to them and how they can take care of not only themselves, but take care of their loved ones. So we're so happy to partner with G. Davis Production, Garrett Davis. We thank you for all the great work that you do, your energy and your ability to take a subject matter and engage folks and have us laugh and cry at the same time. So thank you so much. We appreciate all that you're doing. We look forward to upcoming events. Again, for our viewers, for more information about what AARP Georgia is doing in your community, please visit www.aarp.org/GA. Thank you, Garrett.
Thank you.
To our viewers. Thank you, and stay safe.